me coffee, me cup of boiling coffee in the morning. I don't care for nothing else. The only thing for me is a cup of boiling coffee in the morning. Or Milo if you prefer. Or chocolate. Amazing. Can you imagine you set up this on your table, right? You display. Nice. Oh, wow. Fancy. And guys, the prices are absolutely amazing as well. Let me tell you, when you see these prices, you come in, you just start pick up, and you say to yourself, so really, oh my God, these are quality products, and at the best prices too. Yeah, can't never tell you.
Need to estimate your duty? Perform a track and trace? Search for a declaration?
Then download the Jamaica Customs mobile app today. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 12.
Joining us for CVM News at noon. It's Thursday, December 18, 2025. I'm Amoy Harrod. Stakeholders say they're left with more questions than answers following a recently announced 7% increase in electricity bills, coming on the heels of a U.S. $150 million government loan to the JPS. Speaking on CVM's lead story Prime recently, key industry voices called on the Energy Minister and the JPS for greater transparency. It's been weeks since Energy Minister Darrell Vaz announced the $150 million loan to the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, that is set to help fast-track restoration efforts. Yet, even after multiple extensive parliamentary debates, confusion among stakeholders remains. Of even greater concern is how, if at all, the loan will impact consumers.
In the event of failure to pay back the loan, the government says that it would convert this money into shares in the JPS Co. On what basis are you going to be calculating those shares? What is the value of the shares today vis-a-vis 2 years down the road?
In accusing the government of not being forthcoming in relation to what it will take to have full restoration, opposition spokesperson on energy Philip Ponwell says there are still questions surrounding the total sum needed to bring the entire country back on the grid. He questioned whether the 7% increase in electricity bills announced on Monday could really be intended to help with restoration efforts.
The timing could not be worse. People are still suffering from the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. People are still without electricity in various areas.
Mr. Paulwell says, if anything, customers should be seeing a reduction in their bills.
We are also told that the OUR had approved $50 million from the emergency fund. Now, that emergency fund is a fund that we as consumers contribute to. And if the JPSCO has drawn down on that, shouldn't the consumers now be expecting a price reduction and not an increase?
Meanwhile, President of the Consumers Intervention of Jamaica, Michael Diamond, says he's especially concerned about Jamaicans who are still recovering from Hurricane Melissa and are now expected to shoulder this additional cost in their bills.
Once JPS gets this increase, there will also be a high rate of delinquency with customers. How will JPS treat with that? So we need to know what mitigating factors will be in place to assist consumers during this process, because there is no need to increase if there's going to be disconnections because individuals are unable to pay their bill on time. So there's a lot more to this than simply just this announcement. We need information.
And economist Dr. Kadawame Naif is also questioning whether the loan will achieve its potential impact.
Every expenditure can be an investment that is going to give some positive rate of return on the investment. I must make the investment with this both of climate change and climate resilience is a big component of it. Are we going to look at how well for our JPS? We're looking at the energy mix, I mean, even these cases where we are getting some support, are we speaking to the person about bringing in wind farms and solar farms, just as how we have stated in our energy bill that we are going to diversify the energy portfolio?
Amoy Harriet for CVM News. Before we restore rooms for visitors, we must restore roofs for workers. That declaration from Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett. Speaking at a press conference announcing the sector's reopening recently, Mr. Bartlett stressed that the new Tourism Housing Assistance Recovery Program, THARP, signals a major step toward economic revival.
Yesterday, I spoke about another type of recovery, and that was the recovery of the product. Today, we're talking about the recovery of the people.
Within 2 days, all airports were up and running. Within 2 weeks, cruise ships were on our shores. These were the signals of hope reported by Chairman of the Tourism Recovery Task Force, John Biles, at the media conference held by the Tourism Ministry on Tuesday.
That in itself establishes that the work that was being done to get the town readiness up was in place, because ships don't go where their people can't get off the ship and enjoy themselves.
President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, JHTA, Christopher Jarrett, says this organization, the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, and its Education Foundation have collaborated to contribute to the Tourism Housing Assistance Recovery Program. He says they have unified to coordinate industry support, mobilize funds, and provide direct assistance to workers, small tourism operators, and affected communities across the island.
Speak about. The JHA continues to work hand in hand with our partners to support the workers who are so integral, and our tourism professionals, without whose dedication recovery of our industry could not be sustained.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett reports that in 1 week, the industry was able to repatriate 25,000 international visitors with little to no complaint. However, he says there can be no recovery without the workers of the industry, adding that the ministry has made it a priority to stabilize human impact.
We mobilized more than 500 pallets of critical supplies, food, water, hygiene items, infant essentials, tarpaulins, generators, protective gear, mattresses, beddings, and furniture. We distributed over 6,000 care packages to tourism workers whose lives were disrupted. We are mobilizing additional support for a further 8,000 workers in the first quarter of 2026.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
Meanwhile, Executive Director of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, Dr. Kerry Wallace, gave more insight on the government's Tourism Housing Assistance and Recovery Program.
We provided $70 million for the for building kits that are valued at $100,000 each. We have 3 different types of kits depending on the need of that tourism worker. If it's whether it's more cement and concrete repairs versus whether it's zinc and ply and 2x4s and so on. So we have 3 different kits, rebuilding kits. And so if you go onto our website, tef.gov.jm, you can see the actual application form and more details on that program and how, as a tourism worker, you can apply for that that recovery support from us.
Residents who once relied on the Petersfield Health Center in Westmoreland are now seeking medical care at the Petersfield Community Center. The shift comes more than a week after the health department announced that patients would have to travel to Savannah Lamar after the Petersfield Health Center was severely damaged by the hurricane. Medical Officer of Health for Westmoreland, Dr. Marcia Graham, says the decision was unavoidable and beyond the department's control.
The patients, the clients from Petersfield and Williamsfield are coming to serve. We do offer outreach in Petersfield from time to time using the compound of the health center because the health center has sustained significant damage. And we're also offering some outreach in Williamsfield using the All-In School, which is across from the health center. But the regular clients come to serve.
But organizers at the community center have stepped in, offering the facility as a temporary home for the clinic. Coordinator Yvette Clark says the center, recently renovated and approved by medical officials, will begin accommodating health services once an ongoing winter camp program ends.
So we have some winter camp and Christmas trees and lots of gifts, summer school that is fun, art, craft, and lots of things, sports, just to get back some happiness among the kids.
And that right there was President of the Society, Norma Fenton, who was providing more information on the current winter camp program at Petersfield, which the Petersfield Galloway Benevolent Society has launched the initiative aimed at supporting children affected by Melissa. So Ms. Fenton was providing more information on that. And it's time now for a break, but stay with us more when we come back.
Get tiles and get creative with your floors, walls, and all the spaces in between. Our knowledgeable sales consultants are happy to help create your beautiful finish with the latest designs in first quality porcelain, wood look, vinyl, mosaics, natural stones, and countertops. At Creative, you will get every tile you need for your residential or commercial projects. Creative Building Finishes, your one-stop shop for everything tiles. Visit our showroom at 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles, get creative.
This Christmas, Benjamin's is bringing the flavor and the prizes. Win your share of over $1.5 million in rewards with the Benjamin's Flavor the Holidays promotion. From November 15 to December 29, spend a minimum of $2,000 on any Benjamin holiday bundle
for a chance to win instant prizes, weekly rewards, and grand prize giveaways. Scan the QR code in-store, WhatsApp 876-859-5651, or visit pabenjamin.com to enter.
Bake it, cook it, mix it. Benjamin.
Here's another tip from Hawkeye to help you secure the season. The holiday season is a busy time for shopping, and it is easy to get distracted by crowds, sales, and festive displays. One of the simplest ways to stay safe is to stay alert and aware of your surroundings. Keep children close and within sight at all times. Holding hands or assigning an older child to stay with younger ones can help prevent accidents or getting separated in crowded spaces. Always keep your personal belongings secure. Backpacks, purses, and shopping bags should remain close to your body and zippered or fastened. Be mindful of strangers who may be acting suspiciously, and trust your instincts if something feels off. By staying aware, you can enjoy shopping without unnecessary stress. Paying attention to your environment, keeping your family together, and securing your items can make a big difference in having a safe and happy holiday shopping experience. This has been your Secure the Season tip from Hawkeye.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Welcome back to CVM News at noon. As the dance hall's war season heats up, the lyrical clash between Tommy Lee Sparta and Massacre has dominated social media, radio airplay, and entertainment conversations. Now, what began as competing claims of lyrical supremacy has evolved into a series of diss tracks, reviving debate about the role of clash culture in modern dance hall. Joining us now for this discussion is cultural commentator Clyde McKenzie. Welcome, Mr. McKenzie.
Thank you for having me.
So the ongoing feud right now between Massacre and Tommy Lee, everyone everywhere is talking about it. Talk to me about the significance of this from a cultural standpoint.
Well, you've got me to start talking about it, so that's interesting.
The fact is that Clash is a part of our traditional music culture. We have had this since time immemorial. I think in modern Jamaican music, we can trace it back to Derek Morgan and Prince Buster when, Derek left Prince Buster's stable and was working for Leslie Kahn. And there were all these diss tracks that were done on both sides. It is a way of energizing the cultural scene, the music space. And I think what is happening with Tommy Lee and Massacre is no different. It's that, they figure that maybe the space needs to be energized and they are making sure that they do whatever it is to enliven the atmosphere. It is something that we have seen from time to time. We had the Beanie Man Bounty spell, we had the Movado Vibes Cartel spell. This is something that is always recurrent, and it's not confined to our music. I mean, you saw the recent dust up with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. So this is a feature of modern urban music, and it is a characteristic of Black music in general across the world. It is the banter and the competition and who is better than who and that kind of thing is a constant refrain in our music culture.
So we're seeing social media playing a major role in basically shaping public opinion, from declaring who they think the winner is, who they don't think the winner is. Has the digital era changed how clash culture appears these days? Or is it, in your opinion, would you say it's better or worse?
I don't know if I can say it's better or worse. What it does have is today there is that greater level of participation where people can actually voice their views, and that can have some kind of resonance in the space. Now, yes, in a dance hall, people might collectively voice their approval or disapproval, but here what you have are individuals able to comment on what is happening, and that's very important. People being able to give their views. A lot of people feel comfortable doing that because they figure now they have a voice. So from that standpoint, yes, so more people might participate in the activity, because it's not just people who might be in the physical space of the dance hall, but people who are outside of it, who are able to comment.
So, Mr. Mackenzie, we've heard some veterans who are suggesting that the feud, it should be moved to an actual stage. How important do you think is a live platform in legitimizing a clash?
Well, look, if there is a business prospect and people can find some viable way of extracting value from the exercise, why not? As long as nobody is going to be hurt, the public is going to be secure and protected, then I see no reason why people, if they want to be entertained in that fashion, shouldn't be.
One of the criticisms I've heard is that, modern clashes, it sometimes cross over into personal or potentially dangerous territory. Where do you think we should be drawing the line between musical competition and social responsibility?
There is always the potential that when you have this kind of bantering, that there is always the possibility that someone will cross the line, and some people might be ill-advised, members of the public fans, who might take umbrage to a reference made and decide that they are going to act on it. that is always a potential danger. And so the artists and the promoters of such events should always ensure that people understand that this is being done in a light, competitive manner, and not something that should be considered as combat and a battle. It's a battle of wits, and that is what it should be, and should not be reduced to anything physical. Yes, you're gonna have high energy and all of that, but we should have rules of engagement. People should know that you don't cross the line, you don't get personal in certain ways, and people should also understand that, some of the things that a man might say to you